Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at this clip from Jez and Al. It's finally happened where Jez finally accepts that there is an Xbox tax. Now, let's go through it. I want to react to it, but if you do find this video useful and want to see more content like this, do hit that subscribe button, do hit that like button. Let's see if we can get to 350 likes. Let's see if we can get to 10 new subs in this video. That would be amazing. We are trying to hit 7,000 subs. If you want to support me further, you can do that through my Patreon, YouTube membership starting from $1, and of course you can hit that super thanks. But without further ado, let's get into this because it is a very good discussion. It's a very good comment, and I think it's worth talking about. I think it's worth breaking down because there's a lot of good here and a lot of information that finally has started to come out. And you can see here through Shimazaki JP, this nails my sentiments about those Xbox influencers who play around with multi-platform content and become cheerleaders for other brands. Yet now they're throwing tantrums, insisting Xbox should scatter its games across all platform, or shouldn't, I guess. But let's hear what he has to say.
So it's already sort of getting into that territory of like, you know, the San Fran cabal are going to love this idea of Xbox putting their games elsewhere because, you know, they don't play on Xbox, but they certainly play those games on their Switch. And you already seen people being like, "Oh, this is great. This is great because more people can play Hi-Fi Rush." And it's like, yeah, certainly more people playing games is always a good thing, but what about like the potential damage it could do to?
So here's the thing, right? I often hear this, that more people playing games is a good thing. Why do you want to restrict your games? But it's always coming from Camp Blue or Camp Red. When you talk about having their games on other platforms, they completely blow a head gasket. There's no way that they would allow that. There's no way that they'd be happy for it. But it only seems that brands like PC, PlayStation, Nintendo, that say, you know, it's good for Xbox to be putting their games everywhere because more people can play them. But why isn't it okay for Mario to appear on Xbox? Or why isn't it okay for God of War to appear on Xbox? Right? Why is the way this PC's another market in its own? They're just double dipping and trying to be on everyone's side so they can get everything. They're trying to literally be, you know, the one that appeals to all. So I'm not even going to talk about PC because that's just weird. But why is it's okay for everyone, you know, that sentiment is okay for everyone else, but when it comes to Xbox and trying to get games off other platforms, it's pretty much the middle finger all the way. There's a bias there, right? It seems like the notion when everyone plays, you know, more people playing is a good thing, only applies to Xbox. It doesn't apply to PlayStation, and it doesn't apply to Nintendo.
Xbox where like people aren't really buying the console anymore, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, right? Does that have long-term brand damage, or maybe like just the same? Maybe Xbox is right, and this is just the way of the future, and you just got to get over it. You know, who knows how it all plays out? But I'm sure those people will be like, you know what? Yeah, Xbox, do this 100%. We're behind you because putting games in more places is the way. It's the future. And I would love to play Hellblade on my Switch too. I would love to play Indiana Jones on my PlayStation, even though I can't play it because I get motion sickness, right? So
look at how game journalists attacked me for the crime of saying Xbox fans are right to be concerned about what Xbox's strategy is here.
And Jez had every right to say this, right? I covered this yesterday in my stream. I'll say it till I'm black and blue. The reality is, Jez had every right to say that Xbox fans have a right to be concerned. As an Xbox fan myself, I mean, I'm an omni gamer personally. I don't, you know, restrict myself to one platform, but you know, it's no secret that I've got an affinity more towards the green than I do to the blue. But do I play PlayStation games? Of course. Am I playing Final Fantasy Rebirth? Of course. I'm a gamer. I enjoy games. And I play games wherever they are, whether they're on PC, on the Switch, on handhelds, it's irrelevant to me. But do I have more of an affinity here? Yes. But at the same time, it's, you know, it doesn't take a genius to work out that Xbox's current plan right now is hurting the brand. Putting, you know, first-party games on other rival platforms is hurting the brand. You know, And what Jez Corden said in that article that he wrote, that Xbox gamers deserve better, they deserve better than this, and the media immediately turned around and started attacking him for it, is because of the media's bias. The reality is the media, like IGN, like Eurogamer, yeah, I'm calling them out, they want Xbox gone. That's the reality of it. They don't want Xbox to be here. Whether that's because Sony is funding them in ways that we don't know, or maybe, you know, someone higher up in Xbox decided to go and find, you know, the head of IGN or the head of Eurogamer and screw their wife or their spouse or their partner, whatever their sexual orientation is. I don't know, but clearly they've done something to these publications for them to have a deeply rooted hatred towards Xbox. That is just a thing. But, you know, Jez Corden being attacked by the media was not called for. It's unprofessional. And I'll go one step further. Just look at how much butthurt IGN was when they actually got denied a review code for the Squad game. They went during early access and posted the full ending to the game, right? And tried to justify that by saying, well, in my opinion, this is a bad game and I'm going to post it anyway. But when Xbox fans did this, or whoever did this, but when other people posted the Spider-Man 2 ending, they went ballistic. They went mental. They were calling them out like crazy, but it's perfectly okay for them to do that themselves.
The San Fran cabal came after you. I'm just saying, of course, they're going to co-sign this because, yeah, like they want to be able to play their games on their Switches or their PlayStation. So of course they're going to be like, yeah, this is great. They're probably going to hit up their contacts at Xbox and be like, you guys should do more of this. We want everything on Switch and PlayStation, because they don't want to deal with Xbox, right?
They don't want to cover Xbox. They don't want to learn the ecosystem. They don't want anything to do with Xbox, you know. And this is the Xbox tax, you know. This.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Because back in the day, Jez said that there was no such thing as an Xbox tax. But let's just hear that again.
They don't want to learn the ecosystem. They don't want anything to do with Xbox, you know. And this is the Xbox tax.
That's it. So it wasn't how, you know, a lot of people were saying this and that. The reality is the Xbox tax is just this. It is the rooted hatred towards Xbox and everything around Xbox. They want everything Xbox can have on other platforms, and they just want Xbox to vanish and disappear. Not understanding what will happen when you create a monopoly for a platform who can control everything. Just look at Apple and how twisted and sordid they are with the power that they have to be able to manipulate the regulators and make them dance to their own tune. Because that is how big and powerful Apple is. It's really, really dangerous. It's a really dangerous game, what they're doing here. But the reality is, like I said, their rooted hatred for Xbox is the Xbox tax. And that is what it is. And it's good to finally hear Jez say that, because now he understands what people were talking about. Now, I know that there were people using that term really loosely in the past, but this right here, let's just go back. This right here is exactly what it is. That is the Xbox tax.
And PlayStation, because they don't want to deal with Xbox, right?
They don't want to cover Xbox. They don't want to learn the ecosystem. They don't want anything to do with Xbox, you know. And this is the Xbox tax.
That is it. They don't want nothing to do with it. And anything that is Xbox only and isn't on a PlayStation or on the Switch and it's only on the Xbox ecosystem will get downvoted and reviewed badly. Now, I know people are going to come out with Forza Horizon 5. Do you know what? That made the deadline for Game of the Year, but it was snubbed because they moved, you know, they said, oh, it missed it by a day. But do you know what? That same person moved the dates and allowed God of War to go into it. Stuff like this sticks out like a sore eye thumb, and it is not good. It is not nice. It is not, you know, no one wants this sort of thing. But the reality is that is what we are seeing.
You know, this is what it is. It's not a case of like they actively want to undermine Xbox. It's just a case of like they never really cared about Xbox, and you can't force someone to care about Xbox.
And that's another thing. You cannot force someone to like something. That will always be the case, right? If they don't like it, they don't like it. But Microsoft should be doing everything in its power to push Xbox. Get those third-party contracts only on Xbox, not PC. The moment they went day and date with PC is the moment they started to dilute the consoles. And in my opinion, going day and date with PC was a very, very bad idea. If nothing else, they shouldn't have put it on Steam and they should have just left it on PC Game Pass. That way, you are pushing PC Game Pass. You are pushing Game Pass. Steam should never have been in there. I know he has a relationship and, you know, Steam is bringing in a lot of money. And at the end of the day, this is a business. But if you wanted to push Game Pass as a brand, and if you wanted to push those subscriptions, and if you wanted to push the console, Steam should never have factored into this. That should never have diluted it. I know you PC fans out there are going to get really upset, but you know what? PC Game Pass would have existed. And if you wanted it, you could have played it on PC Game Pass and it would still be available on your PC. You don't like it, buy an Xbox. That's simple. You don't want to buy an Xbox, don't play Xbox games. That's how it goes, folks. That's the way everyone else works. That's how this should have worked. And the Xbox brand itself would not have been diminished. But the reality is, it has. And now, you know, this first started with the inclusion of Steam. And now it's being further diluted by potentially pushing their games onto other platforms. For whatever reason, I've got my thoughts. You would have heard it yesterday in stream. I'm not going to go over it again. But the reality is, what Jez is saying here is 100% right. You can't force people to like your brand. But what you can do is coax them into getting your brand. If you have those titles, if you have those games, like if you had the the next Metal Gear style game on the Xbox, if you had the next Final Fantasy exclusive on the Xbox, next new Silent Hill, these are games I'm talking about. You know, groundbreaking next Halo, big titles that will make the console sell. But the reality is, right now, if you want to play all of those games, even if they were on the Xbox platform, you don't need an Xbox. You can either play it on the cloud, which again I've got no problem with because that's within the Game Pass ecosystem, or you play it on Steam. That's the problem. They've done nothing to help the Xbox brand. In fact, they've done everything over the past few years to damage and diminish the Xbox brand. And this, like Jess said, Xbox fans deserve better. And I am fully on board with that statement. Xbox fans deserve better. And they are being treated, in my opinion, as second-class citizens by Phil Spencer and the Xbox team. With no communication, and people say, oh, but they don't have to respond to rumors, and they never do. Squash the rumors. Squash the debate. This has been going on for too long. At the end of the day, if it's coming on other platforms, fine. Let it go to other platforms. But squash the damn debate. It's getting tiring hearing the same thing, jumping on social media and seeing the same thing. I mean, they must be loving the SEO retention from this. But all it's doing is damaging the brand. I was speaking to my brother this morning, and he was like, oh, I heard that Hi-Fi Rush is coming. He doesn't even look on social media. But a friend of his was telling him that he's excited that Hi-Fi Rush is coming to PlayStation 5. He doesn't have a release date. And then when my brother looked it up finally and had a look at it, he was going, this looks cool. It's on Xbox. And I said, yeah, why don't you get an Xbox Game Pass and play it over the cloud since you don't have an Xbox? And he said, why? It's coming to PlayStation. So this whole notion that, you know, people were saying where, oh, if they see that this game is really good, they'll think about buying. No, he didn't even contemplate about anything else. He's just going to wait till it comes to PlayStation. So it's not going to work. It's not going to sell consoles. And yes, I know my brother's just one person in a pea of a pod, but the reality is that sentiment will be felt by many PlayStation owners, by many Nintendo owners. It's not going to work. And it's just going to dilute the console even more and push people further away from the brand.
You know, and that's fine. That's fair enough. It's their prerogative. But like, my issue is like when people pretend that they don't have bias. You know, I would never sit here and try to pretend to someone that I am interested or invested in what PlayStation is doing, because I'm just not, you know. And that's why I don't work for a multi-platform game website. With me, you know exactly what you're getting. When you come to the Xbox 2 podcast, you know you're getting an Xbox-oriented podcast staffed by people who actively use Xbox and actually, you know, Xbox in the have Xbox in their expertise, you know. So
And that's another thing. Like, a lot of people often tell me that I'm fake. I'm playing two sides. I have always been honest with people. Every single time. I am an omni gamer. I will play games wherever they are. Lately, PlayStation has disappointed me. I've really not been using that console at all. I've mainly been playing on Game Pass because that's just been where I'm enjoying my games. But at the same time, you know, I'm playing Final Fantasy 16 as well. I'm still trying to get through that despite the shoddy frame rate. And that's on PlayStation 5. I've never said I'm not an omni gamer. But I will always say that I am, you know, affiliated more, well, not affiliated, but I am more on the Xbox side. I've got more affinity to that side. I just feel that overall it just appeals to me more. What they're doing in terms of the Game Pass system, you know, the games that they're delivering, it appeals to me. Ever since I played the original Xbox, that has been a thing. Now, I loved my PS2, but ever since I jumped into Halo, Gears of War, those games resonated with me so much. So I will always have a greater affinity to Xbox. But I've said this, I've never said nothing to the contrary. Yet people will still turn around and call me a fake. They will say that I'm playing both sides. I'm not pandering to one side or the other. I'm kind of trying to play neutral. I'm not. I've always said I have more an affinity to the green, but I am an omni gamer because I enjoy gaming. It's that simple. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to be able to own all consoles. So why wouldn't I want to game on those consoles? But do I have an affinity to Xbox? I do. Am I getting paid by Xbox? Absolutely not. In fact, I will go out and say that the Xbox support team, in terms of providing early access to game codes and stuff like that, have basically rejected me multiple times. They wouldn't even look at me because of my channel size. Sony, on the other hand, have been absolutely amazing. They haven't provided me with every review code or every code to stream the game or, you know, showcase their game, but they have been absolutely amazing in providing me with game codes, right? So, you know, their support team, in my opinion, you know, for influencers and content creators is, you know, they actually cater for the smaller brands. So this is what I'm saying when I say I'm not just looking at it just, oh, I am pro-green and I don't care about pro-blue. I look at it as an overall scale. But at the same time, I am more green. It's just the way it is. But I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, PlayStation is shit, because it's not.
I don't know, man. We'll just have to wait and see where it's all going. And there's just really nothing more to say on it now.
Yeah.
I just wish Microsoft would just come out and put to bed all the rumors and just leave it at that.
I mean,
and that's the point, right? Microsoft can come out and put an end to all these rumors, and they are absolutely not doing this. And that's my biggest problem. Sure, they don't respond to rumors, but these rumors are damaging the brand, making people not buy the console, diminishing their presence in the console market, and diminishing the brand everywhere else. So where is the win here? Outside of them being too scared, not having the balls to come out and say, this is how it is, like it or leave it. Because they know that if they say the wrong thing, and if they actually potentially speak the truth, because don't forget, all of this news about Hi-Fi Rush or Sea of Thieves or other Xbox games going to other brands and platforms, at the moment, you know, a lot of people are saying it's happening, it's going to happen. I've said it a few times as well. It could all be bullshit, right? It could all be bollocks. It could just be one random dude that decided to make it up because someone in Microsoft decided, hey, I'm going to tell this person who I know has the biggest mouth in the world who will go and tell someone. And we just want to let that settle in and simmer and go, and then we will come out and say it's not happening and put it to bed and laugh at everyone when it happens and create a massive backlash on those people. Who knows, right? We just don't know. But they can easily come out and end these rumors. But if it is true, they are shit scared that if they come out today and say, yes, this is going to other platforms, they're scared that people are going to jump ship from Xbox entirely. Because at the end of the day, a subscription is a subscription. All you're paying is your $10. And if you're like me, you play a game and you never return, there is nothing really holding you tied on to Game Pass outside of what's coming next and the next month's drop of games. I mean, where's the Activision games? Where's the Call of Duty, the Diablo, and all of that stuff that's supposed to be on Game Pass right now? They said January was supposed to have a drop of Activision games, you know, the old school retro games. Where are they? What are they doing? What are they planning? Xbox needs to start to, you know, pick this shit up. Just having a developers direct, which is like 3-4 games, ain't it. Where's the third-party support? Where's the third-party exclusives? A lot of people are laughing at PlayStation. And maybe their 17 games wasn't it because they had no first-party showings. But they came out and showed 17 games. And none of them were first-party. Microsoft came out, a 40-minute trailer that had 30 minutes of people talking and 10 minutes of gameplay for 5 games. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to Hellblade. That is probably my most looked forward to game of the year because Hellblade 1 was phenomenal. Avowed looks great. Ara isn't for me. Indiana Jones, I'm a massive fan of. I'm going to play. First person, I don't really care. And, you know, Visions of Mana looks good. But I want more. You've got 35, 40 studios. I expect more from you now. Step up. Come out. Quash the rumors. Accept the rumors. Just lay a plan on what you're doing. Because we, as your paying customers, deserve this. And when people say you're not entitled to anything, we are, because we are your customers. We pay for Game Pass. We are the ones that are paying for that service to exist. Therefore, we technically are entitled to some guidance. Anyway, that's my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion, and I will see you in the next one. Please do consider liking and subscribing. I am trying to hit 7,000 subs. For this year, my goal is 15,000 subs. That is my actual goal for the year. I really hope we can hit that. I am trying to grow this channel. I do have a second channel, well, my main channel, even though this has now really become my main channel. I'm still trying to work out where I want that one to go because it's going to have a huge restructuring. But once I have more details on that one, I'll let you know. But, you know, you can find it in the description below if you really want to go and check it out. But, yeah, if you want to support me further, you can do that just by simply clicking that like button, subscribing, or you can go through my Patreon or my YouTube membership. And, of course, you can do it through the super thanks. Thanks so much for your time. Thanks for choosing my video to watch, and I will see you in the next one. Remain legend.